Hi there, feel free to take some vegetables. They're all fresh.
Thanks, that sounds great.
It was past 11 p.m. when I finally locked up the office. Rain drizzled outside, soft but persistent, turning the city lights into blurry streaks across the glass. I was exhausted, another long shift, another night of deadlines, another list of things that needed to be done by morning. As I stepped out, I saw Isla standing under the street lamp. Her hair was tied in a messy bun, a few rebellious strands falling across her forehead. She wore that oversized beige sweater she loved, soft, warm, and somehow fitting her personality perfectly. She looked tired too, but her eyes sparkled the moment they met mine. "You're late," she said, crossing her arms. "You're earlier than usual," I replied. She rolled her eyes dramatically. "Please. I've been waiting for you. The bus left 10 minutes ago. You could have gone without me. And missed the chance to walk home with my favorite coworker," she teased. Her tone was playful, but something in her eyes felt genuine. Like she didn't want to admit she'd been waiting on purpose. We started walking together, the sound of rain hitting the pavement filling the silence between us. "You work too much," she said finally. "And you stay back just as much." "Yes," she said, nudging me lightly with her elbow, "but you make it look serious." "I just stay because I don't like going home alone." I raised a brow. "You have friends." "Friends aren't the same." I didn't respond. I didn't know how. Then she turned to me, her expression mischievous yet honest. "Careful," she said quietly. "I get attached to hardworking guys fast." I laughed softly. "That sounds like a warning." "It is." "And what happens if someone ignores your warning?" She shrugged, looking ahead. "Then I'll get attached. And when I get attached, I don't want them leaving." Her words lingered in the air like warm breath on cold glass. We reached the intersection. She hesitated. "You want to come over?" she asked. "Only if you're not too tired." I should have said I needed sleep. I should have said I had work early tomorrow. Instead, all I said was, "Then I'll stay tonight." Her smile grew slow and soft, like a sunrise breaking through clouds. "Good," she whispered. "I was hoping you'd say that." Her apartment was small, a one-bedroom space with fairy lights strung across the living room. Coffee mugs were scattered on the table, a blanket tossed over the back of the couch, and the faint scent of vanilla candles lingered in the air. "It's messy," she said, kicking off her shoes. "Don't judge me." I wouldn't dare. She shot me a look. "You better not." She made tea. I browsed her bookshelf. It was filled with romance novels, productivity guides, and a few worn-out psychology books. "You read a lot," I said. "Helps me escape." "From what?" She paused, tea kettle in hand. "From being lonely." I didn't know what to say. She handed me a cup and sat across from me, her knees tucked under her sweater. "You don't talk much about your life," she said. "I'm boring." "I like boring." "Since when?" "Since you showed up at the company and made everyone think you're a robot." I narrowed my eyes. "I'm not a robot." "You don't talk, you work. You don't complain, you work. You don't blink." "I blink." "Barely." I couldn't help but laugh. She grinned in triumph. But then her expression softened. "I notice you, you know," she said. "More than you think." Her words hit deeper than I expected. She moved to sit beside me on the couch, close enough that our shoulders brushed. "You didn't have to stay," she whispered. "I wanted to." "Why?" "Because you asked." Her eyes flicked to mine. "That's enough for you?" "Sometimes, yes." She leaned her head gently on my shoulder. Outside, the rain turned heavier. Inside, her heartbeat was soft and steady against me. We talked until almost 2 a.m. She told me about her childhood, about moving to the city alone, about all the times she felt invisible. I act all confident, she said, but most nights I feel replaceable. You aren't. She looked up. You say that too easily. Because it's true. She studied my face as if trying to decide whether she should believe me. You don't say things you don't mean, do you? She asked. No. That's why I think I started liking you. The admission wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was soft, honest, a small truth whispered into the quiet night. What if you're misreading me? I asked gently. I'm not. How do you know? Because nobody stays unless they care. And you did. Her fingers brushed mine, hesitant, as if asking permission. I didn't pull away. Neither did she. She leaned back on the couch, her head resting on my chest now. You know what scares me? She asked. What? Attachment. It's like, once I let someone in, I don't want to lose them. That's normal. It isn't, trust me. People call it clingy. Too emotional. Too much. There was a tremor in her voice, small, but real. Then they were the wrong people, I said. She smiled weakly. You say the right things. I say honest things. She breathed out slowly and closed her eyes. I rested my hand lightly on her shoulder, and she didn't move away. You're warm, she whispered sleepily. You're tired. I don't want to sleep yet. Why not? Because once I sleep, you'll leave. I told you, I murmured, I'm staying tonight. She opened one eye. Promise? Promise. She let out a relieved breath and snuggled closer. A soft glow crept through the curtains as morning arrived. I woke up to find her curled against me, her head resting on my arm, her fingers loosely hooked around my shirt, as if afraid I'd disappear while she slept. She blinked awake slowly, her voice groggy. You didn't leave. I said I wouldn't. She smiled, a real one this time, sleepy and beautiful. You're dangerous, she whispered. How? Because it's easy to get used to you. That's a good thing. It is, she agreed softly. But it also means I'm already attached. I brushed a strand of hair from her face. And I'm not going anywhere. She held my gaze for a long moment. Then she said the words she'd been holding back since last night. Stay, not just tonight. Stay, for a while. As long as you want, I replied. Her smile grew slow, hopeful, and full of a warmth she hadn't shown anyone else. And in that quiet morning light, with her hand in mine and her breath soft against my chest, I realized something. This wasn't just attachment. It was the beginning of something real. Something worth staying for. Isla stretched like a cat waking from a dream, her sweater slipping off one shoulder. The sunlight falling across her hair made her look almost unreal, like a moment you don't dare interrupt in case it disappears. You're still here, she whispered, as if testing reality. You keep checking. And you keep passing, she teased. She got up and walked into the kitchen, her steps soft on the wooden floor. I followed a moment later, leaning against the door frame as she searched for coffee. You know, she said, not turning around, I don't usually let people stay over. And yet here I am. That's because you're different. She finally looked at me. Her eyes held something new, trust. It scares me, she admitted. How quickly I feel safe with you. I stepped closer, gently lifting the coffee jar from her trembling hands. Then we take it slow, I said. She exhaled, relieved. Slow sounds perfect. We left her apartment together around noon. The city was alive now, shops open, streets busy, vendors shouting, sunlight bouncing off rooftops. But she walked close to me, her shoulder brushing mine every few steps like she didn't want space between us. At the intersection she paused. "You're quiet today," she said. "Just thinking." "About what?" "Yesterday." She stopped, turning to face me fully. "Good thoughts or bad thoughts?" "Dangerous thoughts." Her eyes widened slightly. "What kind?" "The kind that make me want to stay again tonight." Her breath hitched. Then she said, "Ask me if I want you to." "Do you?" "I do," she whispered. "Too much." Back at work, everything felt different, not awkward, not rushed, just warmer. Isla's smile lingered longer than usual when she passed by my desk. Her voice softened whenever she spoke to me. She even left a small note near my keyboard during lunch. "Break at 3? I want to sit with you." With a tiny drawn heart in the corner. But we weren't the only ones who noticed. 2 coworkers whispered loudly near the water dispenser. "They've been close lately." "You think they're?" "She likes him a lot." "You can tell." Isla turned red when she overheard. I pretended not to. Later, she cornered me behind the supply shelf. "They're talking about us," she said. "Let them." "You don't care?" "No." She bit her lip. "I'm glad." At 3 p.m. sharp she took my hand, boldly, without hesitation, and guided me up the stairs to the office rooftop. The air was cool. The city stretched endlessly around us. "You know why I brought you here?" she asked. "Why?" "Because I wanted you somewhere, just ours." I nodded slowly. "And what now?" "Now," she said, taking a step closer, "I tell you something I should have said last night." She took a long breath. "I like you. Not the small kind of like. The kind where I check the door twice because I'm scared you might leave. The kind where seeing you walk into a room fixes my day instantly. The kind where I'm already planning how to keep you in my life." "Isla." "Don't say anything yet," she whispered quickly. "Just, let me say it." She looked down at her fingers, twisting them nervously. "I'm attached." "There." I said it. I lifted her chin gently. "I know." She met my eyes. "And you're still here?" "Until you tell me to leave." She inhaled sharply, like the words hit deeper than expected. Then she hugged me. Not playfully. Not shyly. But with the full weight of someone who finally felt safe. When evening came, I walked her back home. She didn't ask me to stay. She just held my hand, looked up at me, and said, "You know the answer already." Inside her apartment, she dimmed the lights, lit a vanilla candle, and sat beside me on the couch, exactly where she had fallen asleep the night before. "You think this is too fast?" she asked softly. "No. Me neither." Her head found its place on my shoulder, as if it had always belonged there. She reached for my hand, interlacing her fingers with mine. "Stay again," she whispered. "Not because you promised. Because this time. I want you to." "I will," I said. Her voice was barely audible when she replied. "Good. Because I'm not ready to let go yet."